gotta go. I'll be right back.
What's up, Vault Dwellers? Dan here. Man, do I love me some animation that isn't for kids. And these 10 films, they're exactly that. We've got human waste as currency, cats solving serial murders, the Beatles fighting music-hating monsters, German cat eugenics, even Korean toilet humor taken to apocalyptic extremes. These are the retro adult animations that push the boundaries, traumatized audiences, and became cult legends. Let's go.
Well, it's a swell fantasy, Gramps, but it's just not believable. Then it happened. The cake opened up, and out came Cinderella, while the prince and everyone else looked on in utter amazement.
Once Upon a Girl is basically Disney fairy tales, but with porn. It's an X-rated animated anthology where Mother Goose tells 3 twisted fairy tale parodies during a trial to the judge and an ever-increasingly horny jury.
Mother who? Mother Goose. Well, I'll be damned.
You get Little Red Riding Hood as a sexual awakening story.
Oh my goodness, Mother Goose. Don't be so pushy.
Cinderella with way more explicit content than anyone asked for.
I want to make you my princess. We shall now withdraw into the garden, and no one is invited.
The animation's super cheap. I mean, like really, really cheap. You know, that limited 70s TV animation quality that stretched way beyond its budget. You know what makes Once Upon a Girl notable? It's that it exists in this weird intersection of the sexual revolution, adult animation experiments, and the porn industry just trying to cash in on the Fritz the Cat's success.
Judge, I just can't seem to make this thing work anymore.
Caroline, honey, don't you worry. You just listen to the story.
It's really not good, but it's historically fascinating as an artifact of when people thought animated porn parodies of kids' stories, this was a viable market. Once Upon a Girl proved you could make trashy adult animation that still found an audience on the midnight movie circuit.
I will go to the ball. No matter what happens, I must see the prince again. I do hope the prince finds me attractive.
It's crude and dated, and it's not even remotely sexy by modern standards, but it's part of animation history. You know, that weird, uncomfortable part nobody talks about on Disney cruises.
Well, I'll be damned.
You're a witness, Wilbur.
I understand my daughter has been giving you trouble.
She has been quite a pill, but nothing I can't handle, Lord.
Then bring her to me at once.
This is based on the Chaos comic character, Lady Death, and it's what happens when you take a medieval fantasy, crank the violence and sexuality to an extreme, and see what happens. So we have Hope. She's a Swedish girl from the 15th century who gets accused of witchcraft, well, because her dad is actually Lucifer.
You are? No, don't tell me. Let me guess. You are Hope, the hopelessly naive daughter of Matthias, also known as Lucifer, the Lord of Lies.
And she makes a deal with demons, renounces her humanity, and then becomes Lady Death, who's a white-haired warrior leading house armies against her father, wearing almost nothing.
Then I see we have something in common. Come, we have work to do if we plan to defeat the Lord of Lies.
The animation is that weird early 2000s digital style where everything looks slightly plastic, but the action, it's actually pretty brutal. You got decapitations, demon transformations, armies clashing all over the place. It really doesn't hold back. The character design, it's that peak late 90s, early 2000 bad girl comics, you know, impossibly proportioned, barely clothed, wielding giant swords. It's ridiculous and excessive, and it's exactly what I love. If you grew up reading Chaos Comics or read Heavy Metal magazine, it's that same type of energy, but it's a time capsule of when adult animation meant maximum violence and maximum cleavage. There's a charm to that shamelessness.
Fresh cornbread stuffing. and a dripping sack of giblets.
Okay, yeah, all right. This isn't a movie. It's just a compilation on VHS and DVD release. But Ren and Stimpy, it belongs on any adult animation list because it's like fundamentally what changed TV animation forever.
Oh, look how cute. Kitty, kitty.
This show is about a psychotic chihuahua and his brain-dead cat friend that pushed Nickelodeon's boundaries so hard they eventually fired him. This collection includes some of the most notorious episodes, the ones that made parents complain and kids obsess. Stimpy's invention, with the happy helmet, Space Madness where Ren loses his mind, the rubber nipple salesman with its grotesque close-ups. The animation in this thing, it's deliberate and ugly in the best way possible. You have extreme close-ups of disgusting textures, the character faces that are contorted into like nightmare fuel, and sound design that makes you physically uncomfortable. It's gross out humor, elevated to art. This show proved you could be disturbing, darkly funny, and just beautifully animated all at the same time. This compilation captures the show at its most unhinged. Before Nickelodeon cracked down, and before Spike TV's even more adult version, when it was just like pure archaic energy, barely contained by children's television standards.
Ren!
And so I say, brother monsters, unless we can stop Felix Flanken from succeeding the Baron, then our organization is doomed.
I always loved me some Rankin and Bass, and the stop-motion studio behind Rudolph made a monster movie musical comedy, and it is delightful. Boris Karloff voices Baron von Frankenstein, who is retiring and wants to throw a party on an island for all his classic monster friends. Dracula, Wolfman, Mummy, Visible Man, and even more. The stop-motion animation, it's, that charming Rankin and Bass style, slightly jerky, expressively designed, with character models that are both cute and, we'll say creepy. The monsters are characters of their classic horror counterparts. Dracula is totally a scene stealer. The songs are super catchy in that 60s musical comedy way. The humor is pun-heavy and silly. What makes Mad Monster Party special is its loving celebration of universal monsters, filtered through that sensibility that gave us Rudolph. It's not technically adult animation, but it's sophisticated enough that adults can enjoy it without the irony. Plus, any movie where Dracula and the Wolfman have a musical number about being monsters, it's automatically great.
It's our time to shine, yeah.
I made it to the short list for a trial where a man killed all his friends at his own surprise birthday party. Unfortunately, I didn't get selected because...
Australian stop-motion animator Adam Elliott made this brutally honest film about an unlikely pen pal friendship between Mary, who's an 8-year-old girl in Melbourne, and Max, he's a 44-year-old man with Asperger's in New York.
Please find enclosed a Frisbee, some chocolate Pop Rocks, which you should eat with cola, and an illustration of a turtle from one of my National Geographics.
It sounds sweet, but the thing is fucking devastating. The claymation is muted browns and grays, deliberately ugly to match the character's depression and isolation. Mary, she lives in a dysfunctional family, and Max, he struggles with mental illness and social anxiety. Their letters to each other become lifelines, but also sources of pain when miscommunication happens. This film, it doesn't pull punches about suicide, alcoholism, mental health, loneliness, or just the way people fail each other despite loving each other. Philip Seymour Hoffman, God rest his soul, he voices Max in one of his best performances, capturing vulnerability, frustration, and hope through his animated character.
Hurt, confuzzledness, betrayal, discomfort, distress, and wheeziness. This last one is not really an emotion.
Toni Collette voices adult Mary, and the narration by Barry Humphries gives it this storybook quality that makes the darkness hit so much harder.
Even more exciting is that I'm finally coming to meet and celebrate with you in 1 week's time. I'm also going to give you half the royalties. Your loving friend, Mary. P.S.
This isn't like whimsical Pixar emotion. It's raw, uncomfortable, and like deeply human. Mary Max won the AFI Award for Best Animated Film, and Roger Ebert gave it 4 stars. It's the kind of movie that reminds you animation, they can tell stories live action just can't, because they can reach emotional depths that would be unwatchable if filmed with real actors. It's beautiful and heartbreaking, and absolutely worth the emotional damage it's going to cause you.
Even though Max's letter smelt like fish heads at orange peel, Mary drank his words like a bowl of alphabet soup, and hadn't been this excited since Grand Poppy.
Yellow Submarine is the Beatles' psychedelic masterpiece. Pepperland, an underwater paradise, gets invaded by the music-hating blue meanies who drain all color and joy. Old Fred escapes in the Yellow Submarine, recruits the Beatles from Liverpool, and they journey through a surreal landscape, like the Sea of Time, foothills of the headlands, the Sea of Holes, to save Pepperland with the power of love and music. This movie created visual style that's just like pure 1960s pop art. Flat colors, psychedelic patterns, and just constantly shifting animation techniques. Every 5 minutes, the style changes. It starts with rotoscoping, then you have collages, some 3D sequences, limited animation just pushed to expressionist extremes. It's the anti-Disney approach to this, rejecting realism for pure imagination. The Boo Meanies hats, they're deliberately shaped like Mickey Mouse ears just to give a middle finger to Walt. The Beatles themselves only appear in a brief live-action cameo at the end. Voice actors played their animated counterparts. Yellow Submarine revolutionized animation as an art form for adults. It's a landmark, it's a time capsule, and just still great 55 years later.
I can see you're scratching for a fight. Okay, you got one. Pretty frightening. I can see you want to show off for my...
This is the German animated film that is 7 with cats. Francis, a house cat, moves to a new neighborhood and immediately discovers a murdered cat with its throat slit. And then more bodies start piling up, all killed during mating.
Do you mean it's the 4th dead body?
I guess you're new on the block.
Francis starts investigating, aided by the mutilated Bluebeard, the blind Felicity, and the tech-savvy elderly cat Pascal.
I don't have long, and that was my reason for involving you.
What he discovers is a eugenics program, Nazi-esque genetic experiments, and a conspiracy that's been running for years. The animation is just beautiful in a dark European art film way, and then it shows you a cat getting disemboweled in graphic detail. This is not a kid's movie. There's sex, there's gore, and there's disturbing dream sequences involving eldritch horror. The mystery is actually compelling. It has twists, red herrings, and atmospheric dread. And when the villain's revealed and you learn about the experiments Cat suffered in the laboratory, it's so haunting. This is actually the most expensive German animated film ever made at the time, and it shows in the quality. The English dub's solid, but really hard to find. In the German version with subtitles, it's actually worth tracking down.
Where does Joker live now?
A couple of blocks from here, his can opener runs a store which sells China.
This is adult animation in the truest sense. Not adult meaning crude, but mature, dark, and unflinching. If you love film noir, serial killer procedurals, and cats, this will traumatize and fascinate you. And his first project was a superhero stripper voiced by Pamela Anderson. Erotica Jones, she works at the Tenderloin Strip Club by night and fights crime as Stripperella by later at night for the agency Fug. She has these ridiculous superpowers like breast expansion, lie detecting cleavage, and hair that works as a parachute. And also, being so hot, she makes men spontaneously combust. The show is a parody of spy fiction and superhero tropes, like Batman needs Austin Powers, with constant double entendres. The villains are just as absurd. You have Dr. Caesarean, who gives women explosive breast implants. And then there's Cheapo, is a supervillain on budget whose henchmen share a single gun. It's deliberately stupid and self-aware, and just surprisingly clever in how it satirizes superhero conventions.
When you walked in, I was thinking, wow, nice elbows.
This thing only lasted 13 episodes on Spike TV back in 2003, and it was caught between like not being raunchy enough for the porn crowd and just too silly for the superhero fans.
Doers, prepare to become evil don't-ers.
But in retrospect, Stripperella is a fascinating relic of the early 2000s. Stan Lee was experimenting outside of Marvel, and Pam Anderson was at peak cultural devotion.
I'm gonna have to beat you into submission.
Plus, there was like this lawsuit from an actual stripper claiming she pitched the idea during a lap dance to Stan Lee, which is probably the most 2000 thing imaginable.
Look out, crime. I'm gonna take a bite out of you.
Well, here's a 50. Lie down on the table, honey.
The director of Deep Throat, you know, the most famous porn film ever made, he directed this. And it's a softcore pornographic musical comedy featuring Muppet-style puppets having sex with each other and humans.
But no whips or none of that kinky shit, please.
The story is about three executives who owe the mob $500,000, and someone suggests they make a porn film to get the money back.
Well, there's only one way to make that kind of money in 24 hours.
So what do? They shoot a puppet porn musical, and that's the plot. This was meant to be a parody of the musical Broadway Let My People Come, and released the same year as The Muppet Show debuted, which is probably the most cursed timing possible. The puppets are handcrafted, expressive, and just absolutely engaged in explicit acts. There's a fish puppet giving a blowjob, Pinocchio using his nose in ways that Disney never imagined, at least I assume they didn't imagine it, and musical numbers about sex. It's 75 minutes of just absolute insanity that somehow manages to be lighthearted and charming despite being puppet pornography. The film was like barely released in the theaters. It did circulate as VHS bootlegs for like decades and got a proper restoration from Vinegar Syndrome back in 2019. Compared to Peter Jackson's Meet the Feebles, Let My Puppets Come is actually tame. I mean, Meet the Feebles has puppet genocide and war crimes. Is this movie good? No, it's not good. Is it historically significant as the first American puppet porn musical? Shit, yeah, it is. This proved that adults will absolutely watch puppet content if you make it transgressive enough and throw in a little bit of nudity. The director kept the tone playful rather than just pornographic, which is why it's watchable as a curiosity rather than, well, I mean, you know.
Everybody's waiting for that song to break through.
Are you out of your mind?
right, welcome to Korean animation insanity. In the future, humanity's depleted of all energy sources except one: human shit. The government monitors everyone's bowel movements through anal ID chips and rewards citizens with highly addictive popsicles called juicy bars. Eat too many, and you become a tiny blue mutant. And these mutants, they form the Diaper Gang, led by the Diaper King. It's a cult of drug-addicted toilet monsters waging war against society.
No! It's because you little dingleberries can't even take out one goddamn cop!
Achi and Cispic, sorry if I mispronounced that one, are street thugs who trade black market juicy bars. They meet Beautiful, and she's a porn star with a special ring that makes her defecations produce massive juicy bar rewards. Everyone wants her. The Diaper Gang, the police cyborg Gecko, the mob, and what follows is 90 minutes of ultra-violent, action-packed chaos with a surprisingly smart satire about government control, addiction, and capitalism underneath all the poop jokes.
What, Munch? You let him right to us! No, I didn't! They're the ones who followed me!
The animation, it's just gorgeous. It's kinetic action sequences, inventive character design, and references to everything from like Akira to Aliens to even RoboCop. Gecko the Cyborg, he's like this unstoppable killing machine who gets all the best fight scenes. And the Diaper Gang, they're terrifying and pathetic at the same time. It's crass, offensive, visually stunning, and just absolutely not for everyone. If you can get past human waste being the entire economy, then this is a legitimate masterpiece of adult animation. If you can't, it's probably an unwatchable toilet humor nightmare for you. I mean, there's just really no middle ground. This took 8 years to make and cost South Korean animation studios dearly, but stands as proof that adult animation can be juvenile and sophisticated, yet stupid and brilliant. Hey, what's your favorite adult animated film? Let me know in the comments because, you know, I need to make a part 8, and I want to know what traumatized you as a kid and blew your mind as an adult. All right, until next time, keep it weird, folks.
Stupid, careless. Without question, Stu. There is the writing on the wall. You cannot ignore your daughter's hand in this attack.
You like the same things I do. Wax papers. Boiled football leather. Dog breath.